And it's almost quite symbolic that you are in Ghana at this time, because the 21st September is big in Ghana. It's Founders Day, so we celebrate Kwame Nkrumah's birthday.
Yes.
It's also National Volunteers Day.
Okay.
So we have a lot of volunteer activity going on. And then it's also the day that marks the passing of one of our greats. He was also a writer, a diplomat. He was a man of many parts, a politician, Professor Awoonor'S. To tell us something about the significance of all these three things coming together on that particular 21st.
I'll just talk briefly because I think Mdoni is better placed to talk about it. Professor Kofi Awoonor'S was actually at our event at Storymoja at the time of his passing.
2013.
When we had the Westgate siege, the mall. So for us, it's a very emotional, very difficult time. And even when you talk about it, I always get goosebumps. And when you're telling me this is also the Founders Day for Kwame Nkrumah, and the Volunteers Day, all of this is what, for us, it has significance. Also, not even just symbolic significance, real significance, because we are here because of Professor Awoonor'S. We are here because of what he started with us, and we're carrying on that legacy. And all of what he represented around using your mind, critical thinking, being educated, using your potential, being able to express yourself, all of that, what we're doing, is what he was. He incorporates what we're trying to achieve. And for us, it's very emotional as well. And also, we feel privileged to be able to be in Ghana, especially on such a day, to celebrate here his legacy. And all I can do is appeal to everybody to come to Storymoja, because it's in keeping with what you're doing tomorrow, what you're celebrating tomorrow, what you're celebrating with regards to Kwame Nkrumah. That is the legacy. Professor Kofi Awoonor'S is part of that legacy, and we cannot let it pass without making a big impression, on the country and on the nation and on our young people. So I'm appealing to everybody to attend the festival and be with us.
Mdoni, the symbolism of all those three things coming on one day, the Founders Day, the Volunteers Day, and the passing, third anniversary of Professor Awoonor'S death. Can you just share some thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm not even sure that I have words that are adequate to the weight of those three events, all being commemorated on the same day. Because if you look at this, we have the late Kofi Awoonor'S passes away in Kenya, very tragic, during the terrorist siege. The day before, he led a masterclass that seemed to have foretold his journey. But he also was in this press conference in which I only got to spend a few moments with him. And for me, I really feel shivery thinking about it now. I only got to spend a few moments with him because as an organizer, there's so many things to do. So immediately after the press conference, as we were walking out, he actually literally held my hand as we walked out, and he said, Mdoni, I'm amazed. Look at all these children, because we get something like 4,000 or 5,000 children coming to the festival, and they're in uniforms. They're all sorts of ages, from young through to high school students. And he said, it's very important what you're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is why I'm here, so that we can pass on this legacy, and we have to do it everywhere. So so after he passed away, one of the things that Afechi kept saying to me is, because at that time we were so shaky. We were so shaky, and we're feeling we're not brave enough to take responsibility, because in a sense you feel like you're responsible for bringing somebody all the way. A legendary Kofi Awoonor'S passes away in Kenya, and you're the one who invited him. So we were feeling very shaky, and we weren't sure we'd continue. But Afechi Awoonor'S told me, no, remember my father's legacy. We must continue that work. The worst thing he can imagine wherever he is that his passing away stopped this.
And everything dies there.
That would be terrible.
And I feel as if even with the late Kwame Nkrumah, his legacy is really, especially in our part of the world, in most of the world, I think, the legacy of Pan-Africanism is still there. In fact, strong. I think it's being amplified in recent years. A lot of people, certainly our generation, are talking a lot more about it and really celebrating that as Africans, we do need to get together. We're beginning to really understand, not just at the high political sort of negotiation level, but in our
Grassroots.
daily lives. And I think there's a big role in the creative sector to strengthen the bonds between African peoples of, of different descent, of African descent from wherever they are. So I feel that the festival is playing its role in that, because what we do is we really emphasize bringing those African voices into the festival. So there are people in different creative fields, whether you're a filmmaker, you're a dramatist, you're in the performance area, whether you're in media, you're a journalist, you're a fiction writer or a non-fiction writer. We have a non-fiction writer here, by the way. She's written her biography, and then life happens. So whatever field you're in, so whatever field you're in, we like to bring that together and then create interesting sort of synergies, interesting explorations. And whenever you bring Africa, African people are alive.
Oh, yes.
I mean, alive in
Very
the full
much.
sense of the word.
Oh, yes.
So when you bring them together, you never know what alchemy is going
Things
to
can
happen.
happen.
Yeah.
Things can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then life happens.
And then life happens. So that
Exactly.
segues nicely
That's
into the title of
exactly.